Listen to everybody. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it? Don't let no one come into your house, take your meal, do what you need to do today. I'm not nervous. I'm just telling you.
Yo, I was looking at the I was looking at the thing on my phone, and I had the banner. I had like the video clips on loop. Did they have us sitting here for like the last 3 minutes,
No.
like on screen? Because
It
when I
turns
checked on
on.
my phone, it was on screen. We were on screen when I was looking at my phone,
Yeah. I think when the song loops, it turns it on.
bro. I don't understand that because I had the video on loop, bro. That's so fucking
Wait, we were
stupid.
up there
Yo,
the whole
streamer,
time?
bro. What? No, because I'm literally sitting here. I got the video clip. I had it on loop. That's why the bumper was sitting there for 5 minutes, and I check on my phone, and we're just sitting there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, bro, StreamYard is so fucking bad, bro. StreamYard is so fucking
Okay.
bad. StreamYard is so washed. But anyway, we're live. What's good, guys? We're back with another episode of the Raw Review. Apparently, StreamYard caused us to sit here in silence for like the last 3 minutes on screen. But I'm joined today by Peach and Sandman. Sandman has returned to the Raw Review. This is your first Raw Review in how long, Sandman?
Few weeks, but you know, it is what it is. I'm back. That's all that matters, and I'm ready to talk about some wrestling with everybody. Hope you all are doing good. Peach, Rob, everybody in the chat, what's up? Let's talk about some WWE Raw.
No, of course. Raw was at Madison Square Garden last night. And of course, every time WWE decides to do like a big show that is highly touted with major names in the building, they always find a way to shit down their leg, so to speak. Not saying the whole show was horrible, like it was a terrible show, but it just wasn't up to the standard that Madison Square Garden, I guess, is supposed to set for sporting events. So I'm gonna start this show by asking Peach, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm like severely underwhelmed and kind of annoyed by Raw. I was gonna no-show this show because of how fucking bad it was, but oh wait, no, it's been 80 minutes. Okay, yeah.
Well, no, because I literally was like, I because you guys don't know, when I'm sitting here waiting for the show to start and I'm putting up the band and she's yelling at me to start the show, and the reason
we're
why,
on screen.
but guess what, the reason why I start the show is for the exact reasons that she just apologized for, which is cursing. So anyway, Sandman, how are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing all right. You know, I'm looking forward to a better MSG show tonight, which is NXT Roadblocks. You know, the real A show in WWE. No, but yeah, I'm doing all right. Last night's show, we'll get into it, but like Peach said, it was pretty underwhelming. I think if it wasn't for the steel cage in the main event, that was, in my opinion, a really good match. We'll talk about it maybe a bit too self-indulgent at times, but a very good match nonetheless. I think that a lot of the fans in New York yesterday in MSG would have went home a bit dissatisfied because besides that ending, you know, to the show, like I don't, we're a month away from WrestleMania, and this isn't the standard. You know, it's not the standard, but we'll get into it. You know.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like not even just the fact, like going off of what you said, not even just the fact that it's like Madison Square Garden. I just feel like with a lot of the shit that's going on in WWE right now, especially with like the WrestleMania build and everything, we have set matches for WrestleMania. It's not like we don't, but bro, I don't know why, like it's starting to feel like it used to feel like 8 years ago with Vince. Like it's WrestleMania season, but it's starting to not really feel like it's WrestleMania season at the same time. And it's just like it didn't feel like this last year. It didn't feel like this 2 years ago. Like we knew what we were getting, and we knew it was gonna go on. Like was it a totally perfect WrestleMania build the last 2 years? No, but it's just like this year, I don't know what's going on, but it feels like I just don't understand what was going on with the build this year, bro. I guess the most important thing we will start out with was the most important thing on the show that took place last night, which was the show was built around the main event, the steel cage match between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. I didn't for what okay, so I'll start off by saying this. Um I didn't think it was bad as as a wrestling match in itself. It was a good match. But I feel like for what it was hyped up to be and for what it was set up to be for like a week now, I feel like that this match was just it was pretty underwhelming, if that doesn't make sense. And it might be because of the match that we just watched the other night, the cage match that we just watched the other night in between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. But I feel like, and the fact that they didn't get the bleed, but I feel like so I just didn't like a lot of the aspects in the match, and I'm sure Sam might have a different opinion. Peach might have a different opinion, but I feel like it was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like at the same time it was underwhelming. I'm gonna start with Salmon because you haven't been here for a while. Salmon, what did you think of like the match in itself? Besides like the build and everything.
I thought that it was a great match.
Oh, wait. I did not forget, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe, and please send your super chats. You send your super chats, ask any questions you want, give your thoughts on the main event, give your thoughts on the tornado tag, because we're going to be talking about the main points of Monday Night Raw today. We're not really going to be reviewing the show. We're just going to be talking about the biggest talking points coming from the show last night. But go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was a great match. I thought both Punk and Seth did a lot. I know a lot of people have a lot to say about Seth as a worker, or they think he's declined over the years or something, but I thought that he did phenomenally. Punk, we all know what Punk can do when he's firing on all cylinders, and I think that they came together and had a great match. I liked the pacing of the match. For me, steel cage matches, I like them to be more, I guess, grinded out, hard hitting, a lot of selling, which a lot of people may not enjoy. You know, they want, I guess, more fast pace wrestling at times, which I understand. It's just a taste thing. But I really enjoyed what they did here. I liked all the spots that they did. Not all the spots, but early on at least, you know, a lot of like Punk doing the triple elbow drop, them going to the top of the cage, teasing that, and all the crowd reacting like, no, don't do it. Then it leading to the superplex from Seth. But I think the problem of this match kind of showed itself as it went on. And I think a lot of us can agree that the finisher spamming, and not just the finisher spamming, but for me at least, just the amount of kickouts at some point, it got way too much for my taste. Not to say that it was like a bad match or that I liked the match. Like I thought it was like terrible, but like I just thought that it kind of lowered it for me at some point, because I think there's like a threshold you reach in like this kind of match when you're just doing finishers and guys are kicking out of everything. Like Seth, I think, kicked out of, I don't know how many. I think it was like 3 GTSs, a stomp. He was held in an STF for like a minute, or no, that was Punk rather. But and even on the reverse, like Punk, the amount of stuff that they kicked out, they're just doing each other's finishers over and over. And I'm like, at some point, like I get the indomitable human spirit aspect of it, the fighting aspect, not wanting to give up. Punk has been just generally protected since he's come back. Even in the Elimination Chamber, like he never tapped, right, to Cena when he had him in the STF. But at some point, and I get it because this is ultimately leading to another, you know, match at Mania with these guys. Obviously, going to be a triple threat at this point with Roman. But I just thought that if that's the case, don't do as much finishers, don't do as much cover, so that you don't have to do as many kickouts. That's how I felt about this match. And also with the last thing with Roman, like I just thought it was a bit awkward how like Seth did a finisher. I forget which it was. I don't remember if it was the GTS or the stomp at the end. And then he kind of just sat. He kind of did the thing where he just sat back against the ropes and just sat there for like 20 seconds waiting for Roman to run in to like, you know, pull him out the cage. And I just thought that you could have worked to that Roman coming out as a surprise in a better way that didn't just look as a bit silly. That last part's like
I
a
feel
bit
like
of
he should have gone like I'm gonna let you keep. I feel like he should have jumped over the barricade. I don't feel like he
yeah,
should have ran all the way down
yeah,
from the fucking entrance ramp.
yeah. I agree because like the crowd was cheering for like 10 seconds and he's just like no selling it, just sitting against the ropes. Because for me, it's like he did this finisher and then he just sat back and just stared at Punk, and I'm like, cover him. Like that's usually what you do after you do a finisher, but he just sits back against the ropes. But so yeah, like the last few minutes of the match, I thought like kind of flew a bit too close to the sun for me. But nonetheless, I thought it was a great match, a lot of great emotion in it. Um, and I'm glad that this feud is still ongoing because when it back in January, when it seemed like this could have been a one and done, there was a lot of rumors about just Punk and Reigns 1v1. I was a bit like mad about it because I wanted this to be a feud that lasted for a while. There's a bit of echo, but I wanted this to be a feud that lasted for a while, and I'm glad this is still ongoing because I do think this was a great match, and I'm glad that we're gonna get more in WrestleMania 41 from these guys. I don't know how that'll look in a triple threat. Triple threats can get a bit messy, especially with a guy like Roman. I don't know how it's gonna look, but I'm excited
Wait, so he
nonetheless.
the chat is saying he jumped the barricade, but they had a
Yeah.
spotlight on him. Oh,
He was like
Okay,
okay. Wait, so
lightly
I don't know why
jogging
they
through the
showed.
crowd.
I don't know why they showed the spotlight on him then. What the fuck? Why would they do that? But
yes, yeah.
going off of what you said, before I let Peach give her thoughts on the match, I said it last night, and I tweeted it out last night, and I'll say it here, and I don't give a fuck who cries about it. Cry. I never want to hear anything about Johnny Gargano or Johnny Kickout ever again, bro. You niggas are a lot of you niggas on the timeline was sitting here screaming about real music, real wrestling, real graps. But if Johnny Gargano and these niggas kicked out of 18 finishers, bro. But if Johnny Gargano did the exact same thing, when Johnny Gargano was doing the exact same thing, you niggas were on Twitter crying and whining and complaining and bitching. You niggas are still bitching and moaning about him kicking out of a lot of finishers to this day, and it was like 6 years ago. So I never want to hear anything about Johnny kick out about kicking out of too many finishers, bro. Bro, he did a GTS, bro. This is what my problem with the match was. My problem with the match was as a match, it was fine, but why so many finishers? Like Sandman to Sandman's point, Punk hits it, and then it felt like also y'all hate on NXT drama, y'all hate on drama within matches in cinema or Bloodline cinema, whatever, right? But then Punk hits him with a GTS, the first GTS, and they just sit there. And then Seth hits him with a curb stomp, and then they just sit there. And then they hit each other with another finisher, and then they point at the cage door. They both point at the cage door and being like, "You can leave now," which is like, okay, fine, but like then they kick out. Then he hits another GTS, and Rollins kicks out. And Rollins hits another curb stomp, and Rollins kicks out. It's like, and then Punk kicks out. It's just like, bro, like what's going on in this match? Like what is happening? I just saw Seth Rollins get hit with two GTSs in LA at Netflix or the Netflix premiere, and he's like, and he got beat by two GTSs, but now all of a sudden he's in. Bro, it's been really bad within the last week, and I'm not just talking about with. And I know it's been just with Punk, but like, bro, in the Elimination Chamber, everybody was kicking out of everybody's finisher. Peach, before we get a little bit into the aftermath of the match, what was your thoughts on this match?
My thoughts have basically been said. I enjoyed myself, but like not as much as I was expecting to. I feel like I don't know. I'm just like I feel weird about it because I liked it, but I'm like disappointed because I expected more from both of them. And it like literally, I don't know. It felt like they were on autopilot for like the first half of the match to me. Um, but yeah, I liked the stuff they did for the most part. I mean, like your guys' issue with the kick out spamming is I had the same problem, so I don't want to just like regurgitate what has already been said. But yeah, I feel like it could have been a lot better. And I said this to Rob like after the match happened. I feel like we could have waited like until we were somewhere where we could bleed to have this, like not to like be that bitch, but A lot of it would have been a lot more interesting if they were like bleeding. Like when Seth was like screaming at him when he was about to walk out of the cage, like come take my whatever, come take my house or whatever he said. I was like, bro, if he was like covered in blood, this would mean so much more. But I don't know, it just felt like awkward and weird to me. So
You know,
yeah.
and that's the thing, bro. Like, and that's the thing. That's kind of why like these GCW shows and Hammerstein. Well, GCW is already terrible, but it kind of makes GCW worse than terrible when they go to Hammerstein. And Sandman, you were in person for this. Like, that's
Mhm.
what GCW's like main appeal is like death matches, blood, a decent lucha match here and there, but like mostly just death matches and blood and crazy shit. And when you go to these places that you can't really do these things, like you go to to New York and Madison Square Garden and Hammerstein where you can't do these, and you have these matches where you can't. The main appeal of cage matches is the blood. That's why cage matches in WWE for the last 10, well, I won't say the last 10 years, from from the 2010s all the way to like 2023, 24, where they could bleed again. That's why most of them were so bad. Well, at least in WWE were so bad because you would have these cage matches or these Hell in a Cell matches, and like that's why the Brock and I don't even like I don't we don't fuck with Brock no more, but the Brock and Taker one from 2015 was good because they bled in that match, because who the fuck is gonna tell Brock and Taker they can't bleed? So it's just like that's why that match was good, because it had blood. But it's just like all the other cage matches that we watched during the 2010s was bad because they didn't have blood. And it's just like last night, not saying that you need blood all the fucking time, but it's just like they were doing a lot of drama,
Mhm.
and it was just like in wrestling. And I know Sandman can attest to this, Peach can attest to this. In wrestling, when you have blood, blood is used for dramatic effect. It's the same way it's used in movies and TV. It's used for dramatic effect. And when you're doing all these these dramatization scenes within these matches, and they don't have blood, you're just sitting there like, why am I not why am I supposed to care? But you're sitting here and you're just like, this would be a lot better if this had blood. Um, but I think that it could have been executed a lot better, and they could have went at a much not at a much faster pace. Like they should have been go 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 in a fucking cage match. But like I said, why are we doing finishers and then being like opening the door? First of all, cage matches should stop having the escape the cage rule anyway. I don't know why that's a thing. That's why AEW cage matches are great, because they don't have an escape the cage rule. Escape the cage rule should be like,
I
what
think
were you about to say, Sam? Man?
I think WWE does it because then it would make
Protection.
the no, I think it would make the Hell in a Cell obsolete because that's like supposed to be the difference
Mm.
between a steel cage and a Hell in a Cell. And WWE is like, we got the top on the cage, like you just can't leave, like you're stuck in here. Even though people have left the Hell in a Cell before, but that's supposed to be the difference with the steps. But I do it's supposed to be
I
locked in.
also think it's to agree to further your point. I also think it's now realizing it, because that's what happened last year with the FTR versus House of Black steel cage match that they were having. It was supposed to be a pinfall elimination steel cage, but of course Malachi Black was like no yob, and they were like, well we'll just
Aw.
do an limit. We're just doing this escape the cage then, I guess. So
Beast.
but
Yeah, it could be.
that's really why, because I thought Punk was gonna get pinned last night, but of course, CM Punk, no yob. So of course he let Rollins get the escape the cage win rather than the usual fucking pinfall victory. But of course, after the match, the greatest aura farmer of all time, that's not named Dwayne Johnson or John Cena,
This is
came
disgusting.
back, and oh my god, yo, oh my god, bro, the
Oh,
Did you
him?
scenes,
see the
bro.
video of him in the crowd?
No, I didn't see
No.
the video
Bro,
of him in
the
the
crowd
crowd.
notices him and he slows down running.
Oh my
Literally
god,
so he
what
can
a
aura
beast!
farm. I'm so
Oh
serious.
my god, what a monster!
That's why it took
What?
so long.
Yes.
What?
It's
Like
really
Yo,
funny.
he heard the pop. He said, hold on, they fuck with me like that in here. Hold on, I gotta let me extend this. Let me extend this running a little bit. But of course, after the during not after the match, during the match, said like Sandman said, no pun intended. CM Punk hits him with a super stomp from the not super. It was kind of a middle stomp from the middle rope. The super stomps from the top rope, but he hits him with a super stomp from the middle rope, and then he sits there for a second, and all of a sudden you hear the crowd screaming and yelling like fucking Jesus just like God just walked in the arena, and all of a sudden Seth Rollins gets yanked out of the fucking cage, and who's just yanked him out of the cage? Well, of course it's Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns has returned. We have not seen Roman Reigns since the Royal Rumble. He has not been on TV. He did not appear at the Elimination Chamber because, of course, Seth Rollins double stomped his skull into the arena of what the fuck stadium was that they were at the Royal Rumble, whatever the fuck it's called.
Lucas Oil Field Stadium or something like that.
Yeah, he stomped his skull into the Lucas Oil Field Stadium floor. So of course, Roman Reigns then hits him with a Superman. Seth Rollins looks like he just saw a ghost, and then he gets up. Roman Reigns hits him with a Superman punch. Then he backs up, ooh, wow, and hits him with a huge spear to a loud pop. And then Seth Rollins tries to run away again. He goes towards it, but in the middle of all this, you do hear the Lillian Garcia yell, "The winner of this match, Seth freaking Rollins." So Seth Rollins, of course, because of Roman Reigns pulling him out of the cage, got his victory over CM Punk. Seth is crawling towards the staging area, and and in the middle of this, Roman Reigns hits him with a huge stomp in the middle of the floor, paying him back for the Royal Rumble stomp that took place. And then after the Royal Rumble stomp, Seth crawls over to the stairs, similar to how Roman did at the Royal Rumble. And then as Roman is about to hit him with the stomp, just like the referees stopping Randy Orton from hitting the punt, they stop Roman Reigns from stomping Seth's skull into the steel steps. But in the background, you see in the steel cage, Paul Heyman has entered the steel cage, helping CM Punk to his feet. And Roman Reigns turns, he sees this. He's like, "What the fuck?" He said, "You will how that one the one Drew scheme go, Nick, you know that's my bitch, nigga." And so he then turns around, he runs in the cage, and then he doesn't notice this though. He doesn't shove Paul Heyman out the way. He did not shove Paul Heyman out the way. He pulled CM Punk out of Paul Heyman's hands, and then he threw him into the steel cage, threw him into the other side, and then ran off the other side and hit him with a spear to close out the program. And then farmed, to close out the program. What was your thoughts on this, Peach? And do you now that we basically have the confirmation that this is going to be a 3-way at WrestleMania, who do we expect to win this match, y'all?
To be honest, it'll probably be Roman because he's really inspired right now. Like he's really inspired. Like last night to me was like the most excited I could tell he was since he came back. Um, when did he come back and then Solo snatched his chain again? I don't know. But he looked like visibly excited to me. I don't know if it's just because I'm mentally insane and like notice these things about wrestlers, but I don't know. He seems really happy, so I feel like it'll be him winning. But I really liked this. I liked how aggressive it was, and like Roman wasn't being lazy for once, so that was fun. Because I'm really critical of him because he has all these cool moments, but he's really slow and annoying. But I don't know. Maybe just because his boyfriend was there, but I enjoyed myself. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam, man.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good angle. I thought this is like, I don't know how, if anybody was surprised that Roman came out, I don't know how you were surprised, because for me, this was like the only thing that could happen, because Roman, this is his only path to WrestleMania. This has been what they decided on since the Rumble, with the angle with Seth stomping him on the outside, like you said. Like, this was all that was ever going to happen, a triple threat with these three guys, in my opinion. But they just had to say, all right, we have the tie with Rollins and Punk. We have the tie with Rollins and Reigns. Now, how can we, tie Punk and Reigns? Because their beef, they don't really have like a strong beef. You know what I mean? Like, they don't really have that. Their only connection is Paul Heyman. So they keep using that Paul Heyman chip to say, all right, how can we get these guys to hate each other? Now, first, what they do is pretty much with Roman dragging Seth out the cage, that messes with Punk because Punk wants to beat Rollins, obviously, and now he loses this match um, because of Roman Reigns. So that's one reason for them to not like each other now. Then you got the added reason with Heyman and Roman, whatever insecurities he has, seeing Heyman with his former guy that he used to advocate for. Um, I thought this was a good angle. I liked the way they did it. I like that there was actual physical escalation, physical conflict between Roman and Punk, and the fact that he actually got in the cage and speared him. Because we're only a month away from Mania. Like we need to start seeing like actual like I can't just see like a Roman side eye to Punk to close out the show. Like I don't like this what you're doing with Heyman. I'm glad that he actually got in there and speared him. They saved the super stomp, or not the super stomp, but the stomp on the steel steps with Rollins. So I imagine that in the same way with Randy and punting KO at Mania, I expect that he's gonna do some sort of stomp to Rollins at Mania on the steel steps. As far as who I think will win that match, I don't think Roman will win. I just I can't see because I really think this will be the main event. I've been kind of going. We can talk about it after, but I've been going back and forth on what I think will be the main event between this and the women's triple threat, or what seems to be the triple threat. But I just really think if this is going to be the main event, I don't think they're going to give Punk his first ever main event just for him to lose. Like I don't that would be kind of crazy to me. And I know it's Roman. I know it's Roman we're talking about. But I think if he doesn't take the pin, Roman would be okay with not winning this. I don't know that he would care. But obviously, I'm not
Oh,
Roman.
absolutely.
I'm not in his head, so I can't speak to that. But I just feel like if Rollins takes the pin, then Roman's not gonna he's not gonna cry about not winning the match. But I could be wrong, and Roman could be the winner of this triple threat, and Punk just looks like I don't know. I think Punk will look kind of crazy.
If it were up to me,
Okay.
what were we about to say, Peach?
No, I was just gonna say, forget Roman is like a little schizo, and he would absolutely win a match like that. Just cause.
Well, if it were up to me, Roman would smash him, stack him, and leave. But that's another story for a different day.
You want him to double pin him?
You're disgusting.
Yo,
is that what you're at?
Y'all wouldn't want to see the way this triple threat goes if I was booking it. But
Isn't
anyway.
that what he did to Brian and Edge?
Oh, we doing it again.
You're disgusting,
but anyway,
bro.
That'd be
but
nasty.
no, in the reality sense, I do see this match. If Roman is not winning, then he's definitely not getting pinned, as y'all said. Like if he's not winning, he's not taking the pin.
Oh no.
And I imagine, I don't know, man, because Seth been losing at Mania a lot, bro. He lost the tag team match last year, even though Cody got pinned, he did lose that match. He was in that match, and then he got pinned the next night again by Drew McIntyre. The year before, didn't he beat Logan Paul? Didn't he beat Logan Paul, or did he lose to Logan Paul?
Something like that.
Yeah, but that doesn't fucking count. Everybody beats Logan Paul.
Except John
38. Cena. We didn't never faced him. So
exactly.
Anyway, so WrestleMania 38, he lost to Cody when he came back. He lost to Claudio before he went to AEW. He lost to Kevin Owens at the Pandemic Mania. He's just a fucking loser at WrestleMania at this point. Damn. And I feel like, of course, he's not pinning Roman. That's not happening. But I feel like if he wins at WrestleMania, he has to pin Punk. He can't just get another shitty victory over Punk. Like it has to be a definitive pinfall victory. Punk has to lay down. Like he already laid down for you at the Netflix Mania, the Netflix whatever the fuck. What were you about to say, man?
There is no way that in his first ever WrestleMania main event that Punk lays down and gets pinned by Seth Rollins.
But that's the thing.
We don't exist in that reality.
That's the thing, though.
Never happen.
That's the thing. I feel like if they announce the main event of WrestleMania beforehand, I feel like, and it's either Rhea, Io, and Bianca, which we will get into that segment because that was another high point on the show. Mm-hmm. I feel like if that's the main event, or if Jay and Gunther is the main event, because you know how Roman be, he'd be like, "Hey man, if I don't get the main event, ooh wah, my cousin do, ooh wah." So, but I feel like if neither of those matches are the main event, I feel like Roman might pull up. You remember when Brock like shoot at WrestleMania 35 was like, well, since I'm not main eventing and the women are main eventing, I'm opening the show and I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I feel like he might pull like it would Ibu tweet. I think Ibu tweeted it yesterday. Somebody tweeted this shit yesterday. I feel like he might redacted, excuse me. Tweeted it yesterday. I feel like he might do that. I feel like since if he's not the main event of night one, I feel like he might just be like, well, we're opening the show and we getting the fuck up out of here. So
Man, imagine opening the show with Seth winning and beating Roman and Punk, bro.
whoa. Not beating Roman. Whoa.
He's beating them. He's winning the
Roman
match.
would lose.
In that scenario. I don't know. I just don't see it. Like I'm not a gambling man, but I would bet the house that Seth does not. Like, he's a loser, like you said, at Mania. It is what it is. It's a testament, I guess, to how much they trust him, because they just put him up against other people to make them look good all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to continue. He's not winning this match. I think if I had to bet, I'd say like 60-40 between Punk and Roman.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Roman's just going to go away again after Mania, but probably, at least for a few months. So it's wow. Like, does he need to win this? You know what I mean?
And that's
like,
the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. He's had like what 10 main. He's basically if discounting the pandemic Mania, because that's like filler. He's had like 10 Mania main events in a row. If you really
that's
think
nuts.
about it,
that is so crazy.
like, does he really need another one at this juncture? Like, if he had the belt, I would be absolutely making the main event. But there's like, I don't know. I just feel like putting CM Punk in the main event would, like, cause some refunds and
refunds. Who's You think people are refunding? You're crazy. Yeah. I'll ask you that. I'll ask you guys this: do you think that getting this match to be the main event could have anything to do with the favor between Punk and Heyman? What do you guys think about that?
You do make an interesting point before I let Peach go, because CM Punk did say last week, he said, I will get my main event at WrestleMania no matter what. He said, I have not given up on my dream of main eventing WrestleMania.
It feels like he knows that he will get that no matter what. And kind of in the same way that in the press conference following the Rumble, Cena's sitting there like, I will win 17. This is something that will happen. And then he ends up turning heel, siding with Rock to kind of confirm that. And I'm sure there will be some shenanigans in the night 2 main event or whatever. That's probably not going to be a clean victory or something. So, Peach, do you think that this can be connected, the favor between Heyman and Punk and main eventing WrestleMania?
Yeah, I said T because literally exactly what Rob said is what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that would be interesting. I don't know. Does like main event? Well, I guess Jey Uso. Okay, never mind. Sorry guys, I had like a schizophrenic moment. I was gonna be like, does main eventing matter in kayfabe? But like, of course it does.
And nowadays it does. Back in the day, maybe not as, or I don't want to say back in the day, but I guess more recently, it's been more talked about, especially since Punk came back. Because that's kind of been like, if you look at since he's come back in late November 2023 to now, that's kind of like the through line. That's kind of like his end point, his goal since coming back. If I had to like look at it in phases, coming back to WWE, Punk's goal has been to main event WrestleMania. And I think once he accomplishes that, then he'll have his sights set on, all right, now I want to win a title. And that'll be like, I guess, quote unquote, his phase 2, right? So I think that's like kind of the through line between him coming back to now is him main eventing WrestleMania. That's his goal. And I think he might have even talked about it like as a shoot, like this is something he really, I mean, recently, to be fair, he has kind of downplayed it, which made me question, is he going to main event it or not? I just really think with 2 nights, he's gonna want
Well,
to get that to be the
this
main
is
event.
this is what I could see happening, and this is what I could in wrestling. And see, as CM Punk is a babyface right now. Of course, you guys know we talk about it all the time on every podcast on the channel. The money in wrestling for the last 70 years of professional wrestling, the money in wrestling has always been the babyface chasing. That's always been the money. That's always been where the money is. That's where the money goes. That's why Cody Rhodes' story was so interesting the last 2 years, because it was him chasing, finally main eventing WrestleMania, and finally chasing winning the WWE title so he could hand it to his mom, because he never got to hand it to his dad, so on and so forth. You get the story. And I feel like if and I understand people want him to main event this year, but I feel like the money isn't CM Punk main. Listen, if he has to main event in New Orleans next year, I won't be happy about it, but I'll understand it. And here's why. Because I feel like you could build a year story. You've already built it up a year, but I feel like you could build another year around CM Punk winning not the Royal Rumble next year, because he can't do the Royal Rumble next year. I don't think he will do the Royal Rumble since it's a Saudi next year. But
Yeah, probably not.
yeah, so you could build him around him winning the Elimination Chamber again, but actually like build it around it like you did Cena this year. And I feel like you could make a lot of money off of CM Punk chasing winning the WWE Championship or the World Championship in the main event of WrestleMania next year. And that's and as much as I'd love for Roman to have another Mania main event under his belt, he has like 10 of them already. So like you know what I mean? So
The,
like
the,
at this, what were you about to say?
no, I said the only rebuttal I'd have to that is that the way I see it now, with the Rumble being in Saudi next year, and with a notable guy who seems to be left off of this year's Mania unless they scrap something together in the next few weeks, Sami Zayn. I really think that babyface chase for next year, like last year it was Cody, this year it's Jey Uso. I think next year that will be Sami Zayn in Saudi Arabia winning it as an Arab, winning it in an Arab country, the Rumble, and then doing the chase for Mania at 42. That's what I think the babyface chase would be. Not to say that they can't have two with Sami Zayn and a Punk, but I don't know. I feel like Punk could win it before then. I feel like Punk could win the belt, whether if it's off of Cena, whether it's off of Punk, off of Cody. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe by this time next year, Punk might not be a babyface. That's a possibility.
That's another point. That's another good
Especially
point.
if it's against like Cody or something. Like who knows? But it'll be interesting to see nonetheless.
You're right. I didn't think about that. I did not.
Because think about it,
I did
Sammy
not
is
think about
left
that.
off. Sammy is a notable name left off of this Mania card. Unless they give him something, it seems like he won't be at Mania. So I think that to me also spells out, it's going to be in Saudi Arabia next year, the Rumble. I think Sammy's like a lock. Not a lock, obviously. Nothing's for certain. Anything can happen between now and next January. But I think that Sammy's going to win that Rumble, and he's going to get his first ever title. I hope they don't do just another KO Sammy again for the belt or something. But we'll see.
You're mad.
Peach. I know you're big on the KO Sammy thing, and I understand Sandman's point of view on it. Would you be? I already know the answer to this question, but would you be interested in a Sammy KO, kind of like Sammy winning the Royal Rumble next year in Saudi and then facing KO at Mania? Bro, KO needs a belt. And that's another thing. KO does need a belt, and I know we're talking about Punk, Roman, and what's his right now, but I fucking feel like KO hasn't had a belt since when? I know he won a tag belt, but I'm talking about a singles championship,
Like
guys.
2020.
Bro, I don't even
No,
think it was
before that.
2020. I don't think it was 2020. I don't think he's won a singles championship since the U.S. title run.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
U.S. title in 28, yeah, and that's bro, that's like 8 fucking years ago.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
8 whole fucking years ago. and I feel like KO can beat Jay for the world big gold after Mania. I feel like that would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. But nonetheless, that was the CM Punk Seth Rollins steel cage match. It wasn't a great match or a bad match by any means, but it was, to me, it was fine, decent, good. Would have been better if they had some blood in it, but it was kind of underwhelming for what they built it up to be. At least from my point of view. The next major thing on the show that we can get into, Cody Rhodes appeared. Cody Rhodes appeared last night and basically built up to, guys, as you know, John Cena will be in Belgium next week on the special edition of Monday Night Raw live from Belgium early on in the afternoon. Cody Rhodes appeared and basically kind of cut the same promo that he did on SmackDown, but not really. Basically, but this time I feel like he called out John Cena in this promo more than he did on SmackDown. If I can, you know what? Let me look up what he actually said, but I don't want to misquote it. Unless somebody up here like kind of like remembers it better than me. I don't want to like misinterpret what he said.
No, you can pull it up because I remember the spiel about trying to like make the analogy between Cena being a teacher and stuff like that.
Yeah, he talked a lot, so like
it was very like, just to get my thoughts on it, I feel like it was a good promo. Like Cody, he's just a very he's very natural at this sort of thing at this point. But for what it felt like, and even the fact that it wasn't really built to happen until like just a few hours before the show, it felt like they looked at the rundown, they looked at the card and said, all right, this is kind of a light Raw especially for MSG, a month away from Mania. Let's just slap Cody on it so the fans aren't as mad. That's
okay. Well, I got it right here. I got it right here. I'm not gonna read it, but basically Cody was bringing up John Cena's accomplishments within Madison Square Garden in the past. He said that, of course, I am here, the WWE champion is here, but Travis Scott, John Cena, and The Rock, of course, are not here, but they will be here next week. I said I find it. And he basically was like, I find it interesting that the same man who won his first United States Championship in this building and won his first Royal Rumble in this building kind of skipped out on being here. And he was basically he just put it like this. He said it's also easy to swing at someone after you kick them in the nuts and you have backup. He doesn't begrudge a legend for calling his shots or having a part-time schedule. What he does begrudge is the day after the Elimination Chamber, Cena going on to social media, he derails his moment to point across. Oh yeah, so he basically. Oh, and then finally, guys, after 15 fucking years, we finally got justified, rightful Cena sucks chance, and it wasn't fucking 40-year-old marks in the crowd trying to be cool.
Whoa!
Finally, we got some justified, rightful fucking Cena sucks chance. What were you about to say, Peach?
No, I was giggling.
But no.
You don't think they were ever justified?
No, what the fuck? No. Cena never did anything wrong.
You don't think Cena ever sucked, buddy?
No. He's always been good, actually.
No. All right.
Always been best for business. But yeah, so he says he begrudges Cena talking about having the discipline to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. He says that you have that mentor where you eventually you have to turn to them and say, "Sit down, John, you goddamn moron." "Quote unquote best for business." Nobody defines that better than John Cena, but he thinks the thousands here tonight know better because the business has changed. It's always tacky to cite stats, but there's one statistic that will never be one man's delusion, and that's 17. 17 will never happen, but he gets the heartbreaking privilege of beating his hero in his last chance as he finds out in real time that, and he looks to the camera, he says, John, I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
I'm before I let Peach start on her Cody Rhodes glazing this episode.
Okay.
I will say this, guys. I admitted it last night. I said it on my Twitch last night. The Cody Rhodes bad bit has been a bit for me for the last 2 years because he was facing Roman, because he was beefing with the Bloodline. But like in the general sense, I feel like this in this last stretch of promos from the KO feud going into Saturday night's main event when he hurt Randy to now, I feel like this is the best stretch of promo work from Cody Rhodes I think we've ever seen from him. I feel free to like disagree if you disagree with me, but I feel like since the KO build, I feel like this is the best promo work he's ever done in his entire career. The from the emotional promo that he cut on Kevin Owens that got him emotional, to the one that he cut going into the Royal Rumble, the one that he cut going into the Elimination Chamber, the one he cut on Friday where he was literally like Dusty Rhodes in like Cody Rhodes form on Friday, going into now, like last night's promo was tremendous as well. I feel like because during the first Bloodline feud going into Mania 39, his promo stretch was pretty bad. And then going into last year's fucking WrestleMania, the promos were good, but they weren't like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing. But I feel like this year, I said it on Twitter last night, and before I let Peach go, I feel like he's finally settling into the role that he is the guy taking the torch from Roman Reigns to be the one to lead the company for like the next 3 or 4, maybe 5 years. Peach, what was your thoughts on this promo segment last night?
I thought it was excellent. I thought Cody's been really good. It's really hard to build a WrestleMania main event when your opponents don't show up to work, but luckily for us, we've been around the block. Okay, we've been around the block a few times, so we know it's good. I don't think Cena's showing up next week. I thought about it. I think this is a troll.
No way.
I don't
No
know, guys.
way, bro.
I don't know, guys. I think he's trolling.
That's a scam.
You know what?
3
You
p.m.
know what,
start
though?
time for Cena's first appearance since his heel turn is crazy.
It is.
You know what?
But they're in Belgium.
But
There's just.
you know what?
Go ahead.
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, Sam. No, go ahead.
No, I was no. Go ahead. I said what I had to say.
Oh no, I was gonna bring up. Well, Cena did say in the Chris Van Vliet interview that he did, when he was talking about the heel turn one time, the one thing he wanted to do when he turned heel was, I know he's already been showing up less, but he did promise us kind of at the beginning of this whole run. He was like, "I'm gonna be there a lot. Trust me, guys. I'm gonna be there a lot. Don't worry." And I feel like it would be extra, like obviously would be scamming and kind of fucked up to advertise that next week, but it would also add to his heel heat. I feel like, or he will, or like this, like what they've done with a lot of heels. A lot of heels have heel turns. Like The Rock did that. The one time I think in 03, maybe they fucking advertised The Rock to be there when he turned heel, and The Rock was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there via satellite." And so, because supposedly The Rock said he was gonna be in Africa for like 2 weeks to film some movie or something like that. So, but Peach brings up an interesting point. What if he does, Sandman? What if he like doesn't show up next week?
See, my thing is they literally showed the graphic and had like the most unique like graphic to hype up like a face off. It said Cody and Cena under one roof. And I'm like, I don't know that I've ever seen or heard that verbiage being used for like a face off, but whatever. But it's like if they're saying that they're physically under one roof together, if Cena's not there, like that's just not like that's kind of illegal. Like that's a scam, bro. Like you know how many people in Brussels, in Belgium? There's probably people traveling from other because this happens a lot in the European shows. People travel from other countries. There's people coming from France, from Germany to Brussels. So people are crossing borders to watch John Cena just for him not to be there. You know how crazy that is?
He's in
Like
Africa, by the way.
he's yeah, but
he's literally in Africa.
he could be in Africa. You could take a flight. You're there in a few hours. He's in Belgium in a few hours. It's nothing. He's built for the show. He's gonna be there. We're a month. Like next week, Mania is what, the 19th and the 20th of April or something. Yeah, I think 19th and 20th. We're next week will be a month away from Mania. If he still hasn't shown up in a WWE ring after one of the biggest moments of like the 21st century in wrestling, and just has not shown up, that's not even a good troll to me. That's not even a good way to troll the fans. That's just like, I mean, maybe it would be because of how mad people, including myself, would be, but I just I just can't see that. I'm sorry, I can't see that happening.
Hard subject to change, brother.
Yes, but there's certain things like things in the card would change for that segment. That segment that he's gonna show up, and just the way Cena's posting online, all the cryptic stuff, like I think he's ready to just appear and do this like heel gimmick. Like I think he's really the way you were saying earlier how inspired Roman looked. I think Cena's very inspired to take on this heel role, this heel character of his. I think he's gonna show up next week. I don't think it's a question, and I think it'll be a great segment. I don't think there will be like a physical conflict. It'll be a lot of like Cena giving his reasoning as to why he did this, and then I mean maybe there will be like a brawl with him and Cody. We'll see, but if he didn't show up, I'd be amazed. Is what I gotta say.
Yeah, bro. And I kind of I agree with both points. To be honest, I agree with both points because it would be super heel heat for Cena just to be like, I'll be there, trust me guys, I'll be there. And then they're like, oh, he's like, actually Cena couldn't make it or something along those lines. But I feel like Sandman said, no pun intended. I feel like I just don't feel like it would be I don't know, man. I don't know how I would feel about him just not showing up next week. And like because we need to get this build started. We need to get this build started. It's not a WrestleCrap pitch, Monty G. No, we're saying that what
Gosh.
if they do that? What if they're like, oh, Cena's not going to be here? Like, what if what if they advertise Cena for a week and then they're just like, oh, Cena's not here?
I don't think he'll
You know what I
like.
mean?
I was getting at the like satellite thing. Him like on Instagram Live with like Terramana. Just
I
on the
don't know.
screen. Mm.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like he has to show up next week, bro, to get the build started. But
I
then
think
again,
that
you never know with these niggas, bro. They might make him be via satellite or some shit.
I think there's a better chance of both Cena and Rock being there than Cena not being there.
Yo,
Like
Travis got to be there too. Then, not gonna
not
lie, Travis
not
got to pull
Travis.
up.
Cody mentioned Travis today or yesterday.
Yeah, Travis got to pull up too, bro.
But
Yeah, I think that was awesome too. Travis, the video they posted of Travis being like, "Yo, this shit fun as fuck, nigga." He's like, "Yo, I was out there." He was like, "Yo, we really about to be bad guys now. This is crazy."
yeah, he's about to
He
get
said, and I think that's cool though. I think that's cool. Like before we get into the next important segment on the show with Rhea, Bianca, and Io, I feel like, I feel like that's another aspect of bringing celebrities in that's cool. That's the good kind of bringing celebrities in. The celebrities that are like they feel it and they're into it. And where you know what? I care about Travis Scott more coming in more than I care about Trish Stratus coming in every 6 months. Not gonna lie. And the reason and the reason being is because like Trish just feels like she's coming in to like it's like kind of piggyback off of what the biggest thing going on is right now. Like she's done it like more than a few times now, like Charlotte, and then she did it with
Mhm.
Becky, and then she did it with fucking like. Whereas like Travis came in last week and he did the match, and he did the shit he did last week. He was like, "Yo, nigga, I'm about to buy a ring in all the cribs, nigga." Shit, nigga, I'm about to buy a ring on. I'm about to buy a portable ring on the tour. Fuck it. So so yeah, I don't fucking know. But the next segment that was great last night from Monday Night Raw, that was another high point of the show. Um Fucking Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky. Michael Cole was set to interview Io Sky last night, and Io Sky came out, the new World Heavyweight Champion. She pinned Rhea Ripley last week to win the championship in the main event of Monday Night Raw. She came out, and Michael Cole basically asked her how it felt to be going to WrestleMania as the world champion, and she was like, "This is all, is fucking amazing. I deserve this. Um, I worked so hard for this shit, basically." And she was like, "I can't wait to go to WrestleMania to defend the belt." And then Michael Cole invited Bianca Belair, and we saw kind of a different Bianca Belair. Obviously, she's still feeling the emotional effects of Friday Night SmackDown and the amazing angle that was Friday night. No thanks to Jade, uh, with
Okay.
Bianca Belair and Naomi, where Naomi basically turned heel and called Bianca Belair a selfish bitch, a selfish, ungrateful bitch, on Friday Night SmackDown. So of course, when Bianca Belair was walking to the ring, you didn't really see the Bianca Belair skipping down to the ring and jumping and twirling like her fucking her braid. She was kind of like just walking down to the ring, high fiving fans, just coming down and just basically to talk to Io Sky and Michael Cole about. And Michael Cole's so fucking messy, bro. Michael Cole is so fucking messy, bro. The first thing Michael that comes out of Michael Cole's mouth is, "It's not congratulations to you on winning the Elimination Chamber. Congratulations. How do you feel about facing Io Sky?" He goes, the first thing, I think it was maybe the second thing, but the first thing I heard Michael Cole ask her was just like, "Yeah, so Bianca, how do you think that if you didn't get involved with the match last week that you'd be facing Rhea Ripley instead of Io Sky?" I don't know. I feel like you would have. And Bianca's like, "Oh, brother." Like, she's just like, "Bro, I can't lie. Rhea Ripley put her hands on me first, so like, I don't know what you're I don't know what you're talking about." And then Rhea Ripley came out and basically was just like, "Oh, really?" And she was like, I don't know. I feel like you're scared of me because you know you can't beat me." And then Bianca Belair was like, "Well, I just think you're trying to deflect from the fact that you can't beat Io Sky." And they're both arguing with each other, going back and forth. And then, but they keep what you keep noticing is every time Io tries to get in the middle of it to stop it, they keep shoving her out of the way and pushing her face out the way, basically trying to make her the third wheel in the situation. And the Io Sky kind of has enough. She pushes both of them back and she slaps the shit out of Rhea Ripley and she slaps the shit out of Bianca Belair. And she's like, "I'm the fucking world champion, and I'm actually the world champion. I'm the main attraction here." And then she just leaves the ring and leaves them in the ring to kind of like stare at each other. Peach, what did you think about this whole segment, and do you think this was a setup for the triple threat at WrestleMania?
Unfortunately, it is. Um, I really don't want it to be. I think Bianca, Rhea is something that for the first time at WrestleMania that should have been like a solo feud, but whatever. I've accepted it. It's fine. I will say, Rhea Ripley, the character, is actually insufferable now, and it's getting on my nerves because we finally had last week when she lost. I don't know if anybody here saw it, but she cut this like really,
Yeah.
really good promo on Twitter, and I was like, "Holy shit, she's finally taking accountability for her actions and like having this like epiphany that we've been asking for like ever." And then she came out this week and she was like, "Actually, me losing wasn't my fault, and Bianca bad." And I'm literally starting to like not be able to stand her as a character because of this. Like it makes no sense at all. She's just like never, I don't know, never taken
No.
accountability for
Yeah.
anything she's ever done. So yeah, I'm really frustrated in a lot of ways in that sense of like the build is kind of like eh, and also like the first time Bianca and Rhea are at WrestleMania, it's like there's a third person involved, which I know there's like history there too, but like Bianca Rhea at WrestleMania has been something people have been like excited for since they both got called up. So like I don't know, I'm in a weird spot with this too, where like I don't know how to feel.
Sandman?
Um. Yeah, I do agree that while Bianca and Rhea is it's like one of the top women's matches, if not the top women's match you could do nowadays, especially of like the current generation of women, like besides like the four horsewomen. If like a Becky were to come back or something, this is Bianca Rhea is like the top match you could probably do, right? And with that being said, I like Io, so selfishly, I love that she's in this match because I'm just selfishly, I'm glad that she's in this match, and I'm glad she's at Mania. I'm glad she's holding the belt, and but the reality is that she is a bit of a third wheel, and I'm glad that they're kind of leaning into that reality. You know that we can all see that Io's very much a third wheel. She's in the middle of the Bianca Rhea beef, so they're just leaning into that, and they have like she's trying to talk. They're just ignoring her. They're just arguing with each other, just like pie facing her, smushing her face, pushing her away. And Io's getting mad about that. I'm glad that this is happening in the way it is, because if they try to do like some weird contrived like story between like to try to kind of tie it all together, kind of like the other triple threat with like Punk and Heyman, not Punk and Heyman, Punk and Roman and Rollins, this is not really that. Like they're really much they're very much leaning on reality and like what we can tell that Io just is the third wheel. That is what it is. I like Io, but I think we can all admit that. But like Peach said with Rhea, she cut a great promo in that like little extra thing they posted on Twitter, and it did seem like for somebody who is very much a stagnant character over the years, that she was finally like showing signs of like change, taking accountability in ways that could like portray really well on screen. But she just came out like Peach said, and then she just like she just didn't do any of that. Like she didn't show like any like accountability, any remorse. It was just like, oh, Bianca bad. You did this, and Bianca's like, well, Bianca made a good point. She said something along the lines of like, what was it like? I forget what she said, but I'm blanking. But Bianca made a really good point to Rhea, just basically pointing out the fact that she's not taking any accountability. But I hope they do touch on that more during this feud, because there's a lot of potential with that, and a lot of potential with Rhea's character. Because if she just does this every week and she's just mad and she's in, you came out during my match, blah, and you ruined things for me, I'm mad at you. It's just like this could be more than that from Rhea's standpoint. I like what they're doing with Bianca, like kind of playing up the fact that like she's dealing with a lot of things at once. Because it would be weird if Bianca just kind of like no sold the fact that like her two best friends are just like beefing on SmackDown, just like calling each other a bitch or whatever, and just doing all kinds of crazy stuff on SmackDown, while she meanwhile is just like having a fighting for the world championship and just like no selling it. So I'm glad that she's acknowledging that, and like they're playing up like I guess the internal strife she's going through with that. But so yeah, I like this. I like this feud from the Io's character standpoint, how frustrated she is being the third wheel, Bianca with what she's dealing with, but they need to kind of tap into what they tapped into with that Rhea promo backstage, because what she did tonight, I was just like, this isn't doing much for me personally.
Yeah, no, I feel like it was a lot better so than last week when she just came after like being emotionally distraught at like Jade Cargill physically assaulting her best friend at Elimination Chamber. I feel like this week it was a lot better whereas last week she was coming out, like I said, she was not to say she was on some R-Truth shit, because I'll never say she's on some R-Truth shit, but she was skipping and jumping last week, walking down to the ring, and after her best friend just got physically maimed at Elimination Chamber. So I don't I'll give my thoughts on the whole Friday angle at a different time. I gave my thoughts on Twitch. Y'all already know how I felt about that. But yeah, going into the next major point from the show before we get into kind of super chat, kind of the low points of the show. Not really going to talk about those, and then we get into super chats to kind of wrap up, because I know Sandman's got to, of course, I know Sandman's got to get to MSG. So,
Whoa.
What the? What the?
yo,
What
yo.
the?
No, I'm scared. What was it?
I don't want to ever see that again. What the?
Ew.
Can we just pretend that didn't happen?
Yeah, I know. Sandman's got to get the fuck up out of here. So, as soon. So we're gonna talk about some of the low points of the show and then kind of wrap up. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was what the fuck
Oh
was
my
that?
god.
Yo, I seen that video at the beginning of the show, and I was gonna play it at the beginning of the show, but I didn't know exactly what it was, so I didn't hit play on it. But now I think I should have hit play on it. But I feel like it kind of ruined it. I feel like it would have ruined it. What the fuck?
Who made that?
Who made this? Who made this?
What a beast video. But anyway, another high point on the show before we kind of get into the low points and wrap up. Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio versus the New Day. Of course, the New Day have been getting on this heel turn that they've been doing lately. Of course, they started teasing something with Logan Paul, but of course that never came to fruition, and now it looks like it's going to be somebody we will talk about in a second. But first, I want to shout out to Dragon Lee, man. He's been going through a lot. Obviously, not really going through a lot. He had a kid, but obviously he's been going through a lot with like his booking and shit in the last year. We're on and off, start booking in the last year with pushes and gimmicks and stuff like that. And he went out to MSG last night and he did his fucking thing, bro. And he proved why he belongs on the roster, and he proved why he belongs on the main show to be in a decent spot on the show yet. He hasn't proved that he should be at the main event level quite yet, but he did prove why he is where he is on the show. He teamed with Rey Mysterio last night to face the New Day, as I said, and they had a pretty good tornado tag team match last night, man. They were some crazy fucking spots. How about Rey Mysterio doing like not a springboard, but a fucking rope to rope Hurricane Rana last night on fucking what the fuck was it? Who was it he did it on? It was Xavier, right? Yeah, I think it was Xavier. How about Kofi doing that shit? Not Kofi. Ray doing that fucking Hurricane Rana at 50 years old, bro. He's 50 years old, still moving like he's fucking 25 years old with 2 knee surgeries, man. So after 14 at this point. But yeah, no. So that part of it was great. I feel like everybody executed their roles well. The New Day in their heel role, despite what people might be saying about them as heels and the stop start stuff with what they've been doing since the Big E angle, I feel like they've been doing really good in ring work last night. Sandman, what did you think about this match? And how in Dragon Lee's performance especially?
Yeah, Dragon Lee, I'm happy for him to get TV time at all, and they have ramped it up. You know, he's getting his vignettes, he's getting his promo time, he's getting time to just show people like actually who he is and actually just be a wrestler, which I'm happy about for him. He's great. He showed yesterday, given he shows why he's here. He showed why he's probably the best luchador right now in WWE. And I'm just glad that he's getting this time, like you said. The New Day, they've been doing some good work, so I think they're good opponents for a guy like Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, who's still doing great work at his age, to go against at this point. And yeah, this was a pretty solid match. One of the I wouldn't say like a high point, but it wasn't. It was a good match for the crowd to have. It would have been better if the show around it was better, but it was good for what it was. And then obviously you had the whole angle at the end with Gable, or maybe not Gable, who knows at this point. But yeah, with the guy with the American made luchador mask, but which is probably going to lead to Mania in a way, some sort of tag, I'd imagine, or singles or something. But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I thought this was good. I thought this was good for sure.
Peach?
I'm so annoyed at the Gable thing. Why is he back? American Made has done nothing that he wanted them to do at all, and now he's just back. And schizophrenic? Question mark?
Yeah, he's like, what was he?
Like, what's that about?
He basically came back in the mask. Everybody, I'm not gonna like sit here and like play it up. If you bro, you could obviously tell that was Chad Gable. He comes
went,
back
thank
and like,
you.
No. He went, gracias, before he dipped and left. But no, it does kind of annoy me on that front. That basically like American Made have kind of, bro. I don't want this American Made thing to end up being a failure, bro. I really don't, because this will be the third fucking Chad Gable thing that just ends up being a massive fucking failure, and it's not his fucking fault. American Alpha, that was their name, American Alpha, right? Yeah, American Alpha. American Alpha ended up being a fucking failure because Vince was like, "Oh, I think it'd be funny since Kurt Angle had sex with a black woman 20 years ago that we should make his son black." And then fucking and then after that he's like, "Well, we'll just do Shorty G." And then he had fucking Alpha Academy, and Alpha Academy started off really good. The Otis heel turn was really good, and they were starting off with getting to be a really good act on TV, and then they killed that, and then that got fucking killed by Vince McMahon, and then a fucking American Made started, and then they started American Made way too fucking late, and they just sacrificed them to the Wyatt Six, who aren't even on TV right now, and then now they lost like 5 times in a row to American Alpha. They beat the LWO, but it was when the LWO were really fucking cold. And now the American Made can't win a match to save their lives. Ivy Nile can't win a match, and fucking what's their fucking face? The Creed brothers can't win a fucking match. And so now it's just like, at this stage, bro, what is going on with Chad Gable and American Made? Is this going to be another thing with Chad Gable that fails? And
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I do agree, especially because I do enjoy, like, I think they're all good wrestlers. I don't think there's anybody in that stable, that group, that you could say is not good. Like the Creed brothers, they're really good. They had a good match for the tag belts recently. Ivy Nile, I think, is a good wrestler. I think she's like, when I think of the women's IC belt, to me she's like one of the prime candidates for me that should be winning that belt this year. So it's like, I wish that at least one of them would have won last week. I understand why, I guess, because you don't want to cut Lyra's. Like for me, Lyra's probably gonna lose it to, like, I don't know, like a Becky or something. Maybe when Becky comes back, that's what she does or something. Um, to give that belt some prestige, I guess. But I get why you don't give Ivy Nile the belt. The Creed brothers, while I do like War Machine, or whatever they're called now, the War Raiders, not the War Machine. But I get why you don't give them the belt. I hope at Mania or something that the Creed brothers can win it, because I do think American Made should get some gold, and they've just been, like you said, they've been losing like way too much. I think, like, both the Creed brothers, they're just really talented. Like if you actually just watch their matches, like they just do some really great stuff that especially guys for their size should not really be doing. So I hope that they do get some justice soon and get a belt, because I do enjoy their acts for sure.
Yeah.
No, definitely. But I feel like the angle in this match was really funny, and it was a good angle. Fucking Gable coming out of nowhere, hitting a Hurricane Rana out of nowhere, and then just and then hitting Ray with the German on the floor, and then throwing him in the ring, doing the gracias before he left. Throwing Ray in, and then of course the New Day hit the up down down on fucking Rey Mysterio to get the victory. But of course, guys, we're getting up there. Dragon Lee did not get pinned in Madison Square Garden, so we're getting up there. We are getting up there.
Yeah.
But other than that, the kind of the low points of the show, the really not untalkative points. Bailey faced Raquel Gonzalez for a shot at the Intercontinental Championship in a decent match. Of course, Raquel got the win after Judgment Day interference, payback, and then she came back in the ring, got hit with a big boot, and Raquel hit her with the Takana bomb for the win. So Raquel is the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Lyra Valkyrie's Intercontinental Championship. Jey Uso at the beginning of the show faced not faced Gunther. He faced Grayson Waller, and it was okay match. It was all right match. It was clear that this was a match to get Jey Uso in Madison Square Garden, basically so he could do the Yeet chants and his whole entrance in Madison Square Garden to be over. And this was very clear by the fact that he beat Grayson Waller with a spear and no splash. So, and then after he hits the splash from Grayson Waller after the match, out of nowhere, Gunther just runs up and puts him to sleep in the middle of Madison Square Garden, and that's how that segment ended. And Logan Paul had an awful segment with Andrew Schultz, but I feel like the more we talk about this show on a weekly basis, the more we shit on Logan Paul. So I just really don't feel like doing that this week.
Yeah. What did AJ Styles do?
AJ Styles went out there and
Uh-huh.
saved Andrew Schultz, as a grown man would do. He saved another
Mhm.
grown man's life,
Right.
and he's a hero. So
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
and and that's all that really, basically the biggest thing that happened on the show. Before we get into super chats, guys, this is gonna be your last, I guess, 5 to 10 minutes to get your super chats in. So make sure you guys get your super chats in. Please ask any questions you might want to ask. Any takes you want to get off about the show, the matches that we reviewed, the matches of WrestleMania that we're looking forward to, The Rock and Cena and Travis Scott showing up next week. Anything you want to talk about, we will discuss based off of your super chat. The first super chat is the final boss 199 pound is CM Punk of 100 overall or something 6 stomps. He took 6
Yes.
stomps last night. He took 6 last night.
I didn't count.
No way.
Probably.
No way. There's no way he took 6 last night. I don't remember him taking 6 of those. But that's fucking crazy.
6 stomps is crazy if that's the case. That's just nuts. But speaking of overalls, bro, I don't play 2K anymore, but those overalls are so garbage, bro. Like when I see them,
those overalls are crazy.
First of all, like no disrespect to Seth, because I actually like Seth more than most, but he's ranked higher than Punk in the game. Like Punk is a 92 and Seth is a 93, which is kind of crazy. Especially like when you highlight the way like Seth has lost at like a Mania, the fact that he's getting more than Punk. I mean, sure, I guess I don't know, but and then I get people like Jay. I don't want to be a Jay hater, but how is Punk like? You tell me Punk's only 2 overalls better than Jay Uso? Is that what we're saying here in 2025?
The power of Yeet.
The power of Yeet, like is that what we're doing here? I don't know, man.
Yes.
It's just I can't do it. I can't do it. $70, man. $70. Y'all enjoy that game. Y'all enjoy.
Isn't the Bloodline one like $100?
Probably, yeah.
That is crazy, guys.
Listen, man.
I want better for all of you.
Listen, man. Save your money, but or don't. Do whatever you want.
Not Josh Toffee, 199. Punk wanna be Gargano so bad, bro. I said it at the beginning of the show. I'll say it again. I'll say it again. I never want to hear anything about Johnny Gargano and kickouts ever again. Ever again. Ever again. Never, ever, ever again. Johnny Gargano is fucking what? Zack Ryder taking pinfalls in comparison to the amount of fucking kickouts we've seen in the last 2 weeks. So I don't want to hear that just shit ever again. And then kind of last super chat are the other ones that we got to earlier on. Black Yakuzu, $5. Went to the show last night. Was a good vibe overall. Yeah, no. If it seemed like it was a good vibe in the building, despite the show being kind of like meh. In certain spots, and high at certain points, low at certain points, but it seemed like it was a vibe. It was definitely a vibe. In the arena because it's Madison Square Garden. Like it's always going to be, like a vibe within Madison Square Garden, whether it's the NBA, whether it's hockey, whether it's whatever the case may be in Madison Square Garden. It's definitely always going to seem like a great environment. Speaking of Madison Square Garden, tonight is NXT from the MSG Theater. Of course, the marquee matchups that are being advertised tonight are Stephanie Vaquer and Julia for title. The Hardys are facing Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the TNA Tag Team Championships.
I'm rubbing my hands. Wait, what? What's that about?
You know why it's for the tag. You know why it's for the TNA Tag Team titles, nigga. Yeah, no, the Hardys are facing Fraxium for the TNA Tag Team Championships. Moose is facing Obafemi for the NXT Championship. And Ethan Page is facing Javon Evans in a New York street fight. I feel like there's other matches on the show that I haven't gotten into. Julie, fucking Roxanne and Jordan Grace. Also tonight. Jordan Grace is facing Roxanne. That should be really good. This should be a really good show, bro. It should be a really, really fantastic show. I know NXT's kind of been up and down as of late, since the beginning of the year. But I feel like this should be last week's show was strong, and I feel like this week's show could be a little bit could be strong as well. And this NXT deal has been actually kind of getting me to watch TNA, man. So TNA hasn't been good, but like it's been alright. Yeah. It's been like last week's show was alright. It wasn't good by any means, but it was alright. So Ryan Sacchini, 279 Canadian. Julia loses and then faces Mako. I feel Isn't Julia? Isn't there something up with Julia? Like, isn't she hurt
There-
or something?
there's rumors that like she's been dealing with injury and she's like kind of banged up and hurt. So I hope it's not true, but if it is true, then that kind of would lead
Yes,
you.
Ellie. Yes, Ellie. I'm
You're so
people. Nigga, I
mad.
am people.
I'm also people.
Ellie, why are you hating? Like what? Like why are you hating?
I am people.
NXT.
Good. NXT.
NXT good, buddy.
So yeah. That being said, I don't think we have any more super chats for the time being, and I know
We got
Salmon's
2
got to
All
get out of
Ego
here
fans
pretty
in here,
soon.
actually, Ellie. There's 2 of us today.
Yeah, Ethan Page good.
Exactly. Ethan
Page
Page.
good.
No, 3. Ethan Page good. I like
No,
Ethan Page.
Rob's not a real egomaniac, bro.
I don't know
Stay
why
on that
she has this weird theory of
Stay on
why
that
I'm not.
side.
I don't know. I don't
Stay
even
on that
remember it
side.
because it's not true. But yeah, no, I feel like that match is. I feel like that's gonna be the match of the night. To be quite honest,
You think so?
because I feel like this is gonna be. I feel like this is gonna be a really good showcase for Javon. And not like taking anything away from Ethan, but Ethan is really good in plunder matches. Like that Tony Nese match really made, because I kind of soured on Ethan for a long time after that the Men of the Year shit. But when he had that fucking I Quit match versus Tony Nese, that and the match against Kenny, that made me be like, okay, maybe he's turned it around. He's starting to get better. And of course, the run that he kind of got on at the beginning of his NXT run with the matches with Javon and all those guys. So I feel like they're gonna have a really good showcase because Ethan is really good in plunder matches. So yeah, no, that's the last super chat of today. Folks, we're gonna get some plugs in and we're gonna get the fuck up out of here. Peach, do you have anything to plug?
No, just follow me on Twitter. Every week I plug my TikTok and then I don't post, so I'm done plugging that. But yeah, my Twitter's on the screen if you want to follow me. That's it.
Sandman.
Yeah, same here. Real Sandman says on Twitter. I just talk about wrestling, nothing too interesting. But if you want to follow me, follow me. It was nice being on here talking about some good old wrestling. And I think NXT will be good tonight. I think we got kind of like a pay-per-view kind of level card. It'll probably be hard to fit into 2 hours, unfortunately. So some of the matches might be a little short, but I think it should be a good NXT, and I'm looking forward to it. NXT good.
Yes. You guys know, since I wasn't going to, but since this is a special episode of NXT tonight and it's Roadblock and MSG, I will be on Twitch in a few hours watching this show. You guys know my Twitch if you haven't, if you don't already know. I'm gonna type it down. Oh well, I'm just gonna go copy and paste it. But yeah, I'm gonna be also not really a big announcement, but not really an announcement because like who really gives a fuck. But next week I will be doing a stream in the middle of the daytime for yo, can this lady playing Fortnite stop talking in my fucking ear, please? Thank you. I'm trying to copy my Twitch link. Anyway. But yeah, no, next week I will be doing a stream in the middle of the daytime for Monday Night Raw, the special start time in Belgium. And then afterward, I will be playing some of the 2K My Rise afterwards. So kind of a special stream. I don't know if I'm gonna try to beat My Rise, but I think I will be playing a specific amount of My Rise. Maybe until like 11 Eastern that night or something along those lines. But we'll see. So make sure you guys please tune into that. My Twitch is down below. Also join the self-made Patreon. I don't think we're doing anything tonight, but of course we do the match recommendation watch-alongs on Thursdays, Thursdays, I think Saturdays, Sundays. And let me get you Twitter to get the schedule right quick. We do the watch alongs on Tuesdays. So I think there will be one tonight, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. No, I don't think there will be one tonight because he was going. Yeah. So make sure you guys please tune into the things that I have plugged. And with that being said, from myself, from Sandman, and from Peach, we will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Oh my god. Bye.